All right, folks, well, we are back at our plan for the winter seeding for the front. We did that little corner in the back with the fescue, and today we're going to start the perennial ryegrass on the front. And I need to get that corner on the very front, if you're facing the house, on the front right side of the house, because that already has some seed and that's the same zone. So I'm going to work my way from that corner to the front of the, or to the street, I guess, and over to the driveway. So that's what I'm going to work on today. And if you guys remember, I'll give you guys a little refresher. What we're doing is we're using all this compost. We're using our compost and peat moss spreader to put a thin layer down. And then from there, we'll put down some seed, and then we'll go back and do another thin layer. So that's kind of the process that we're following for this. And I feel like that's one of the ways that we can make sure that we get good seed to soil contact. And then of course you'll finish it up with the roller, the water roller, because that's a good way to kind of make sure that everything gets in place. And then we should be in good shape from there. Because of the fact that the perennial ryegrass actually germinates so quickly, hopefully we don't have to put down so much water. But let me show you the Bermuda. I don't think that it's in dormancy yet, or it's going into dormancy. We've had some really cool weather. It's really windy, so I apologize for the wind. But we've had some really cool weather the last couple days. So because of that, I think that we're kind of pushing the dormancy for the Bermuda. But the front of it, you know, I'll show you here real quick and you'll see what I mean. So I'm trying to hide here behind my house because it is really windy. You can kind of see the leaves. We haven't had a lot of wind like this. This is fall. This is like how it happens around here. But a lot of it is still real green, as you can see. But this may just be because I cut it a little lower. I'm not sure, but I do think that we are starting to head into dormancy. So because of that, let's go ahead and get some perennial ryegrass down. And by getting the perennial ryegrass down now, it'll have plenty of time to germinate before it gets too cold. We're only at the end of September, beginning of October, so we shouldn't be too soon. But this is probably about the right time for us to get all this stuff down before it gets, the weather changes and it becomes difficult to germinate. So let's work on that now. Let's get going.
Start it up.
right, so we got that first layer down, and now we're going to put down this seed right here, which is the perennial ryegrass that we used last year. It's the Barenbrug RPR. Had really good success with it. A really quick germination, got 25 pounds. That should be plenty for the front. So we're gonna do it with our drop spreader, which works great. So put down a nice layer of seed, get another layer of compost over that, and then we'll keep going. Now I'm only doing that front corner, and then I'm gonna do the little section that's that's over on the left side of my house by the driveway. And the reason why I'm doing those two areas is because they're part of a different zone. So the one on the right side is part of zone 3, which covers a big chunk of the back, and the one on the left side is zone 1, which covers all of the shrubs. So I can run those now, and then either tomorrow's Friday, or Saturday, I can do the rest of the front. I want to get water down on it, so that's the best way to do it. So that's what we're going to do today. And hopefully we can get all that done tonight, and we can get some water going, and then we can get the rest of the lawn later on. So, we finished this little section here that's over here by the front door, and then we also finished way over there. And again, the reason why I wanted to do these areas first was because I wanted to make sure that I could turn on the sprinklers, and then I can finish up this area tomorrow and Saturday. Not too big of an area, but this way I can kind of do things in sections and not have to do it all at once. It's supposed to be real dry here for the next several days and cool. In fact, it's getting a little chilly right now, but I love this weather. And so I think we are in good shape for at least another week or two, which means we're gonna have to put a lot of water down. But that's why we got irrigation, so we'll just take care of it. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll come back tomorrow or Saturday and do some more work. Welcome back, folks, to day 2 of spreading compost and putting down some seed in the front lawn. It's just a continuation of what we did the other day. One of the things I didn't talk about earlier is that the reason why I like to do compost before I do the overseeding is because it's just a great way of introducing more organic material into the lawn. One of the things that we are always trying to do, especially here in Tennessee, is to change the composition of the soil. We have a lot of clay, which isn't necessarily bad, but any good organic material that we can get back into the soil, the better. And then it also helps with water retention and nutrients and a little bit of natural nitrogen. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, and I'll continue to do this pretty much every year. In fact, I'll do it again in the spring when we're bringing the Bermuda out of dormancy. Right here, we finished the front area the other day on the 2 corners, and so now we're just going to work on the rest of the front of the lawn. The weather here is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, could not ask for better weather. It's actually a little chilly. Don't have a sweatshirt on, only because I know I'm going to warm up over time. We just got a lot of material that we got to move around, but the goal is to have this done today, so that then we can just start watering it. And I am using that perennial ryegrass, which will germinate pretty quickly, so I'm not too terribly worried about germination. but you know, we'll see. Usually it happens within 5 days, 5-7 days, so that's kind of the goal right now. So a little windy today, a little breezy, makes for, you know, just absolutely gorgeous weather. And so we're gonna get all the materials out here, start moving. Let's get to it.
Start it up.
Now that we put the first layer on most of the front yard, we're gonna go back to our RPR. And I love using a drop spreader, it just makes things easier. Definitely gives me a better coverage. So we'll go through this couple passes. And my setting that I'm using, I have it at 8 right now. I may lower it to 5 and just see how it goes. And that way I can do a couple times. I just don't wanna run out. Finished all of the seed, and if you look, you can see that there's a little bit of clumping right here just because I went over it a couple times, but you can see where the seed has gone down. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through this one more time with some compost. I've got plenty of it, so I'm gonna put a nice thin layer over that, and then we can roll it out with a water roller and start watering.
Start it up.
All right, well, we finished all of the second layer of compost. So you can see all the lines in there. And so now we're gonna take the water roller, go through it, and then we'll be done. We just gotta get some water. So, I mean, like actual water, like putting down irrigation. So let's get to it. All right, folks, so it looks like we are pretty much done. I think it's all set. Let me show you how it looks. Doesn't look much different than it did before. You can see a few specks of black, which is what I wanted. Got all that compost below the canopy. And so I think we're in good shape. Got lots of seed down. And now all we have to do is wait for it to germinate. So part of the germination process is going to require quite a bit of water. So we'll get water going today. We'll do it probably at least 3 or 4 times a day. I'm not gonna soak it. It doesn't need it because of the fact that we've got a canopy that will actually keep things moist and not let it evaporate so quickly. So I think we'll be in pretty good shape. You know, just a couple points to remember is, I mean, the reason why I like compost is because it's just a really good organic material to get into the ground, and it gives the seed a little bit of seed to soil contact that it may or may not get with the canopy of the grass. And we'll be doing a lot more compost, especially in the spring. That'll help us come out of dormancy for the Bermuda. But I'll come back in a few days and we can take a look and see when we start germinating. And I'll do that before I post this video so you guys can see some results. So guys, stick around, you'll see it at the end. Really appreciate you guys watching. As always, love the fact that people get engaged and comment. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. If you like this video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if I've earned your subscription. And if you want to be notified of future videos, don't forget to hit that bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a great week, everybody. Talk to you soon. Here we are, just 9 days after we planted all of that perennial ryegrass. And you can really start seeing it coming up, especially at the angle there. Yeah, it's doing really well. It's actually growing, and we should be able to cut it here in another week or two, but I think it looks pretty good. And especially where you see the black compost right there is where you can really see where it's growing in. But anyway, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it.